Hello, hello. All right, welcome to day 5. I realized I did 2 day 3s. I'm back on track though. Okay, so day 5, I am going to do the live transcript, and then I'm also going to connect to Facebook. So if you're watching this recording, if you could give me just a minute, it'll start. I'll try to cut out all of this anyway. Day 5. I am emotional body. Okay. Nope. Yes, I see you. Yay! You made it live. That's so exciting. Hello, Karen.
Hi.
An alarm, I see. I love it.
Yep.
Okay. Yay. All right. It says it's still preparing. So we're just hanging out for a second while it's preparing to go over to Facebook Live simultaneously. So my little makeshift computer stand is a little wonky today. There we go.
Girlfriend, cooperate.
And let's see. As it is not working, connection timed out. Yes, Sandy. Welcome, welcome.
Oh. Really, girlfriend? Come on now. Cooperate with mama.
And just
Yeah,
getting the technical aspects. There you are. Hello, Sandy. Yay.
Hello.
All right. It's just, I'm trying to get this to go Zoom and then simultaneously go over to Facebook as
Okay, what do you guys want to watch?
It worked perfect yesterday, but
Last Kids on Earth.
every time I'm in a new location, it decides to do whatever it wants to do.
What, honey?
Yes,
please.
Such is the life of a manifesting generator. I have to not be in frustration and just continue to go through. All right. So give me one more minute. It just says it's preparing. And
Netflix.
And Netflix? Why are you throwing things in there? Closed captioning. I swear, closed captioning just like, let me just throw this ad in there. Let me just say whatever it is I want to say. All right, I don't think this is gonna work going on Facebook as well. So I'm gonna give it a go one more time. And then I may run up the hill real fast and get the my phone. Sorry. It seems like every morning I'm like, I'm gonna start at 9 a.m. And every time I go for it, life technology throws me a whopper. All right. So if you would be willing to hold tight and look at these beautiful oak trees, you know what? I'm just gonna do it on live today or on Zoom today. All right. Welcome to day 5. We had 2 day 3s. How awesome is that? Yesterday, I thought was day 3, and the day before was day 3. So we are officially on day 5. And so today we are focusing on the I am statements around our emotional body. So emotions, I feel like with emotions, this has been a huge aspect of our programming. Because anytime we've ever been told that we are an emotion, we are even the label of empathic. Oh, you're so empathic, or recognizing and having awareness. Anytime we have these labels around us, they do program us. Oh, I'm empathic, so I automatically feel everybody's emotions. I automatically get pulled into or sucked into, right? So even the label of being an empath affects us emotionally, because as an empath, the goal is to create enough strength and vitality in our emotional body that we are not being bombarded and affected by every single buddy around us emotions. Correct? I mean, that's the goal. Yes, awareness, we're an empath. And then one step further, okay, this is my emotional body. I get to be in control of who and what emotions come into my emotional body. And I think this is something that as this awareness is happening, more people, we are in the age of Aquarius. So more thoughts, more awareness, more awakening, more etheric energy is now being transferred amongst, now that we're no longer transitioning into the age of Aquarius. We are fully in it. We're here. We're in it. And so no coincidence that, something so physical like a virus kind of went through and created this huge shift of, wait, no more normal, no more aspects, no more what I knew. No, something had to happen to shift us into this age of Aquarius. We could not just continuously go on in the same manner. I won't put any opinions in there. The same manner that we have been going in, the same direction that we have been going in. So there's this aspect of, in our emotional body, it's really time to start gaining control over our emotional body. And Karen, I'm going to pinpoint you. You're in the flux of it. I mean, you're postpartum. You have baby. I mean, your hormones are, you can control your emotions, but we're not quite there in controlling our hormones. Yeah, that's
Yeah, I'll put a pin in my emotions right now
gosh.
too, because that's not really happening right now either.
And that's the other thing. We are still in our physical bodies. And that is the beauty of it. We are not meant to be, we are spiritual beings in a physical body. We are not meant, if we are meant to separate and become truly just non-ego spiritual beings again, we leave our physical body. And that's fine. That's fine if your purpose, if I hate the word purpose. Does anybody else get bothered? But like, it's not your purpose. It's it's the vision that you came to live out, the abilities that you came to share, the like, oh man, that time right now, I want to go down there because I want to create space in my unique way with my ego. We need our ego to do that. And yet I want to be divinely inspired and remember that I am a piece of divinity. I want to remember that I am goddess embodied and not get sidetracked by all this other stuff. My soul is learning so much about having a physical body. What a great way to put that, Anne. Yeah, absolutely. And so realizing that a lot of us have come from these very ancient, we've been and lived a lot of lifetimes, and the emotional buildup of the deaths, the hurts, the traumas are building up within us as we're going into this new age. And so I would love to sit for a moment. I want to take just a couple deep breaths, belly breaths, and just let's get really present with maybe some emotion. Ooh, I'm already feeling it. Ooh, emotions right under the surface. So Just breathe into your belly, big, big, big in breath. And out. Another big, deep, nice body breath. And out. And I want to tap in to the emotional body. And I'm realizing as I'm tapping into this emotional body, that I've actually been cutting off my emotional body because it's been a lot. So I want to see if anybody else is kind of feeling that ooh, when you tap in, it's right there. It's right under the surface. And so creating space and realizing that our emotions are right under the surface. And a lot of times as women, we are meant to be more in our emotional bodies. And maybe it's true for the divine masculine as well, for men, but I don't work with a lot of men. And I think I don't work with a lot of men because they are so disconnected from their emotional bodies that it's tricky for me to navigate in a space where I am unable to tap in. Because when I work with women, when I work with each of you, I can tap in and very clearly, very effectively see and hear and create within your emotional body, and it happens very quickly. I have found that society in their role has disconnected very much the masculine from their emotional body. So realizing that our emotional body is supposed to be so integrated with who and what we are. Our emotional cues help us define and recognize what's going on around us, right? And so when we're told that you're too emotional. Oh, yes, anybody there with me as a child? Yeah, you're too emotional. Yeah. Why are you crying all the time? Yep. I don't know, maybe because you're not feeling your feelings, so I'm feeling them for you and I'm crying them out for you. So, and as we become adults, I had to really go through my own process, crying when you're really passionate about trying to share something, and tears would come out and they're like, why are you crying? I'm like, I don't know, I'm trying to get my point across. The tears are interacting with the way that I'm trying to say it. It's like, so yes, our emotional body. And then I feel like as we start gaining more and more control over our emotions through this process, we build up a shield, right? Where we're like, no, I can speak clearly without being emotionally reactive. But then what happens? We lose, we start shielding and building up whole new walls. So aspects of emotional I am statements. Too sensitive. Absolutely. Yeah, I got that one. I know that was probably all of, and I find that I say it to my daughter and I'm like, ooh, I have to catch myself. I'm like, you're crying again. Ooh, or the whining. Like, you got to feel your emotions, but it's got to be a different tone. We don't need up here. Let's communicate them, because it's right. There's an important aspect. I catch myself with the kids too. Yeah. And it's one of those things where generationally, we are going to subconsciously generationally pass on these aspects. And so hard to find the right words. Yeah. So we have to create space for ourselves to reconnect to this emotional body. And anybody who's worked with me knows that I spent over 2 years connecting on a weekly, if not bi-weekly basis, connecting with my emotional body and just feeling. And it was hard and it was painful and it hurt and it was just a lot. And I know, Anne, you've gone through that over the past almost 2 years now. Karen, you've dug deep and been in the shadows and just felt and felt and felt. And I almost feel like once all of those emotions get released, there's an odd aspect of, ooh, where'd they all go? They're not there anymore. Whoa. And so reconnecting to a really healthy emotional body, one that is integrated and fine-tuned. So I almost want our emotional bodies to, I want us to imagine them as like these fine hairs that are picking up on all the subtleties of the emotions and not making us be overwhelmed with them, but like, ooh, okay, they're going through this. And having these like almost these radar, these and these hairs in our, like the hairs in our ears that pick up on all the tiny vibrations. Yeah, and saying, yeah, grief forced it all to the surface. And I feel like grief from the past year, from last March to here, the grief of the dying of the normalcy, the grief of society, the grief of the death, the grief of realizing that life is very short, realizing that, we don't have much time on this earth. I don't care if there's a virus going on or not. Like, it's not numbered. You don't get to know when your day is done. And so I think that realization and that intense grief of, oh, I'm human. I gotta wake up. What am I doing with my life? I'm sitting in front of these, TVs listening to a bunch of nonsense. So I want to fine tune these hairs, these emotional antennae, so that we can begin to actively activate our emotional bodies, so that when we go into a space of feeling, it is not going into our physical body causing dis-ease or stress, but it's going into our emotional bodies. Sorry, big truck, little truck. All right. It's going into our emotional body in a way that we can actively, with every cell of our being, be aware, hyper aware. And this activates not only, grief and sadness, observational, thank you for that word, yes. Not only activates the aspects of our emotional body, but it fills in those spaces in our mental body. And it then fills in the spaces of our physical body. Because as we go through and process all of our emotional aspects, we're gonna start raising, yesterday we talked a lot about raising that vibration into different vibrational aspects. And so going into this mental state of joy, happiness, that requires being connected to our emotional body. So we kind of did a segue yesterday. So I am statements for the emotional body. What feels amazing to you? I don't know. I almost don't want to use the word control. Is anybody else like tired of controlling? Like, okay, let's find some different words. So I know some of you are unmuted. If you want to unmute yourself and throw out some words. I am holding space in my emotional body. I am fine-tuned with my emotional body, right? Creating a little bit more space rather than controlling our emotional body. I am at ease. Yeah. I am allowing the emotions under the surface to come through in a way that is empowered, enlightening, and transformational. I feel like a lot of the times, the things that are under the surface are the ones that stir up the pot all the time and get in the way all the time. So I am allowing. I want to really allow now. I want to stop controlling and I want to allow, because that feels so much different. I am creating with my emotional body. What are we creating with our emotional body? Are we creating more happiness? Are we creating dissonance? Are we creating equanimity? So I really love using these kind of adjective words. I am creating. I am enveloping. I am allowing, really, or I don't even know if those are adjectives. I got to get my ad libs words right. You know, you always gotta look at those. So creating space for this awakening awareness. I am not judgmental. Woo, that's a good one. Emotions feel so much different for me when they are being funneled through the ego rather than the higher self. Spot on. Yes. Right? Absolutely. And even, yes, I mean, 2 days ago with the physical body, whoo, Karen shared hers. Mine were so drastically different when they were coming from here versus my higher self versus like the divine. And it's just, it can blow you away. Yeah, I'd love to play with that judgmental aspect. And what I am not judgmental. I am, what is a word that means not judgmental? Yeah, because that, man, I feel like healers, we can see all the stuff. We can see it. We can see all this stuff. So there's sometimes this automatic judgment, right? Like, ooh, I see it all. I see all your mess right there. I know you're not being whole right now. You know, like there's a lot that can happen as these, and we know what others are feeling and sensing and being. We know when people are not in integrity, like spot on. And so how do we shift our emotional bodies from going to a space of judgment or control? Yeah, I think that observation, right? And using that from an observational standpoint and going, I'm observing some dislike of themselves, or I'm observing this dissonance of what they're saying and what they're doing. I mean, that's probably something most healers pick up on, is we want to believe somebody's words, and we usually do, but then it's their actions that we're like, darn it, come on, rooting for you. Anne and I have very similar spouses, and sometimes their words and actions can create some spidey senses within us. So if you have similar spouses that say one thing and then do the complete opposite, and you're like, I'm rooting for you, buddy. Come on. I know you can create alignment within those two. And us holding space for that has created a lot of transformation. So, let me see. Yeah. So creating shifts, because as a healer, as an empath, control, judgment, anxiety can be right there too. And then we can slip into the overly emotional aspect of the world's falling apart around me kind of a thing. And it's like going from those aspects to going to a space of using the emotion sensors, the emotion, you know, like using these little fibers of our emotional body to allowing this
Ah,
space to be reactivated again, so that we're not controlling our emotional reactions. We're allowing our emotional bodies to pick up and be the powerful abilities that they are, to be highly sensitive, and to use that to create space. Yes, I love that. Sandy, my reply to my husband's behavior is, wow, really? I would rethink that. Yeah, yeah. There you go. That's an interesting thing you're doing right now. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let's see. And so creating space in our emotional bodies to no longer be pushing, controlling, manipulating, judging, but dropping in, being present to it. So I think that's the end of my spiel. That was a long spiel because I really enjoy connecting and like having these conversations. So I will see you all tomorrow. Women in the Zoom link. If you guys want to stay put, I'm going to end the recording and we can kind of create space together. So if you want to be a part of the live Zoom stuff going on, join the Mighty Networks group. I also put it in the Magical Mothering Facebook group. Otherwise, I'll see you all tomorrow. Goodbye. Oh, hold on. I'm not ending it. Hold on.